Darts players are sometimes banned for short periods, but this player did something so bad that he was banned from darts matches for 4 years. We reveal today what this darts player did wrong. You won't believe the reason. Brad Phillips, a young talent whose promising career took a bizarre twist. But before we unveil the shocking news that led to a 4-year ban from the PDC, let's rewind the clock and trace the early steps of this darts prodigy. Brad Phillips, a 20-year-old Englishman hailing from Harlow, his story begins in 2018 when he burst onto the darts scene like a comet, and it all started at the JDC events. In the quaint town of Dorchester, he etched his name by clinching the first JDC event of the year, but he wasn't content with just one victory. The following month, he stormed Worcester and captured another JDC event title. After a remarkable winning streak in the next event, he faced Tyler Radiat in the last 32, ending his run with a 3-1 loss. Then he made a bounce back from this setback. In the town of Benfleet, he claimed his 3rd JDC title. His impressive performance didn't go unnoticed. He was the lone player to grasp multiple JDC Tour titles in that season, a feat that earned him the prestigious title of a JDC All-Star. This honour granted him the privilege of practicing with professional players, which is an invaluable experience for any aspiring darts player. But 2018 had more in store for Brad Phillips. He concluded the year on a high note, securing the 3rd spot on the England Youth Grand Prix Order of Merit. In September, he reached the pinnacle of the England Darts Organisation's England Match Play, soundly defeating Mitchell McCarthy 4-1 in the final. Brad's trophy cabinet wasn't done growing yet. He capped off the year with yet another title, this time winning the JDP European Open in Bristol. The dawn of 2019 marked a significant milestone in Brad's career as he made his debut in the PDC. His journey in the PDC's development tour wasn't without its challenges. Brad missed the first 4 events, but roared back to life in the subsequent block of 4 tournaments. While he struggled to find his footing in the earlier events, Brad's determination shone through. He managed to clinch victory in 3 consecutive games during the 8th event. However, it's worth noting that his averages were less than stellar, with only 2 exceeding the 75 mark. But Brad was a fighter, and he was determined to improve. After a brief hiatus, Brad returned for the final block of 4 events. His consistency improved, and he even reached his first quarter-final during one of these tournaments. It was a glimpse of the potential that lay within him. By the end of the season, Brad Phillips had secured the 70th spot on the Order of Merit, earning himself a ticket to the World Youth Championship. This was his chance to shine on the global stage. Unfortunately, he faced tough competition and was eliminated in the group stage after valiant efforts against James Beaton and Shane McGurk. In that year, his journey took an intriguing turn. Despite his early exit from the World Youth Championship, he remained an active and determined player. In fact, he was a key figure in England's victories at the Boys British Internationals and played a pivotal role in securing both the overall and boys pairs titles. His achievements weren't limited to the national stage. Brad and his team went on to clinch the WTF World Cup in Romania, solidifying his reputation as a formidable young talent in the darts world. Simultaneously, Brad continued to compete in the JDC circuit. Though he narrowly missed out on adding another title to his name, he wrapped up the season by finishing an impressive 7th on the Order of Merit. This achievement, particularly impressive considering his age, earned him a PDPA scholarship, paving the way for his continued participation on the development tour in 2020. But as every darts journey unfolds, there are highs and lows. His 2020 began with high hopes as he embarked on his first ever trip to Q School. However, across the 4 grueling days of competition, he never managed to rise above an average of 83 and secured only 2 victories. His dream of gaining a PDC card remained elusive. Undeterred by this setback, he returned to the development tour, this time under the banner of Mission Darts. Despite his best efforts, he struggled to find consistent form. In all 10 development tour events that year, he achieved only 1 average above 84 and failed to progress beyond the last 16 in any of them. Nevertheless, his determination remained unshaken. He secured a place in the World Youth Championship for the 2nd consecutive year, although his performance in this tournament left much to be desired. Winning just 1 leg across 2 games, he once again exited in the group stage. Then, for almost a year, Brad seemed to disappear from the PDC scene. It wasn't until the start of the 2021 Challenge Tour, held in 2 blocks of 6 events, that he re-emerged. However, the circumstances surrounding his return were far from ordinary. At this time, the world was still grappling with the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Players, including Brad, were required to provide negative lateral flow test results to participate. But it was in the first 5 events of this challenge tour that his journey took an unexpected twist. In these initial matches, he struggled, losing his opening games and posting averages that ranged from the mid-50s to the 80s. The 6th and final event of the first block, however, was marred by unforeseen incidents. A fire alarm forced the players to evacuate the venue and wait outside in the car park, causing a significant delay. When the event eventually commenced, another issue emerged. Players, including Brad Phillips, Conan Whitehead, Joe Davis and Scott Marsh, all withdrew from their games, leaving the darts world in shock. The initial reports suggested that a player had tested positive for COVID-19, leading them to and their close contacts being removed from the event. Rumours began to circulate on social media, and it soon became apparent that Brad Phillips was the player in question. However, there was more to the story than met the eye. The situation took a darker turn when it was revealed that Brad had known about his positive COVID-19 status 2 weeks prior to the event. Shockingly, he had continued to practice with another player during this period, putting not only his fellow competitors, but also the entire event at risk. On the day of the event itself, he attempted to enter the tournaments by submitting a negative test result. However, it was later discovered that he had tampered with the test, running tap water on it in an attempt to produce a negative result. The fire alarm that disrupted the tournament also exposed another layer of deception. It was reported that a friend of Brad's had openly boasted about the fraudulent situation. Word of this reached the PDC, and they swiftly made the decision to remove Brad and the other players involved. A joint statement from the management of Joe Davis, Scott Marsh and Conan Whitehead corroborated the claims regarding the fake test. They also disclosed that Marsh and Whitehead were in the middle of their games when they were asked to leave, while Davis was warming up for his board final. Despite later returning negative test results, all 3 of these players were forced to isolate, leading to them missing out on crucial events. Conan Whitehead in particular expressed his devastation at missing the Modus Super Series Champions Week, an event he had worked tirelessly to qualify for, where he could have potentially won £5,000. The fallout from this incident sent shockwaves through the darts community. Players, managers and fans expressed their outrage on social media. Calls for significant punishments rang out, with some even suggesting that legal proceedings should be considered. The aftermath of Brad Phillips' actions cast a long shadow over his darts career. Following the incident, he was conspicuously absent from any PDC events for the remainder of that year. The reason for his prolonged absence became clear when the Darts Regulation Authority released its list of cases for 2021. It was revealed that a month after the incident, a hearing took place to address the serious allegations against him. He was accused of violating DRA Rules 3.1 and 3.7, which explicitly state that players cannot commit acts that bring the sport into disrepute, and that players must adhere to the instructions of tournament officials. The gravity of the accusations against Brad was staggering. It was alleged that he had not only breached COVID-19 policy by producing a fake test result, but had also put the health and safety of 3 members of PDC staff at risk, potentially exposing them to the virus. In the end, he was found guilty. He received a suspension from all DRA-sanctioned events, which included all PDC events until the 14th of February 2025. This suspension spanned over 3.5 years, a significant and well-deserved penalty. Many in the darts community believe that the ban was not only deserved, but that it should have been even longer. Brad may have been a young player, but his actions were reckless and endangered others. Furthermore, his actions led to fellow players missing out on potential earnings, which could have been substantial, and was the case with Conan Whitehead. Don't forget to hit the bullseye, so you never miss out on any of our amazing darts videos. See you next time!